Pleasant good night to one and all. Welcome. We were experiencing some technical difficulties earlier, hence the reason why we a little late. But we're gonna bring you the comparative, February's comparative for 2020 and 2021. As you can see on the screen, it said comparative 2020-2021, month of February in review. And yes, that's exactly what we're gonna do. We're gonna go through the number of collisions, locations, injuries, tickets, and somebody asked for something last last time when we were doing January. They asked if we had the what was for what do you call that? Oh, the amount of monies collected, the revenue. So a little bit of good news with that one. We do have the revenues for February, comparing it to February 2020 and February 2021. Yes, of course. So we'll be going through it tonight. And just want to let you know you can message the page, of course. You can find us on Facebook, Traffic TV 268. You can also find us on YouTube, Traffic TV 268. That if you want to review any of our videos that we have produced. Of course, you can WhatsApp us 774-3470. You can message our page, of course, send in your suggestions, subjects you need information on, clarification and all that kind of stuff. And we will be sure to check them out for you and let you know what's going on. So I know we are late, we're not gonna be long tonight. So we're going to go right into our second episode of Antigua and Barbuda February month in review, traffic statistics, comparative 2020 versus 2021. So first up, we just want to let you know that Traffic TV is a collaborative effort between Motorsports and Events Antigua and the Royal Police Force of Antigua and Barbuda. Of course, that's where we get information from that we can bring to you. And also with the kind support of State Insurance Company Limited, putting you to live in a better state of mind where all your insurance needs are. Also, we're supported by Signs and Impressions, and both companies are on Operative Street, but Signs and Impressions, the quick print people, and they know what to do with printing. So if you have anything to print, you check them out first. Signs and Impressions, of course. So we're not going to waste much time. We're heading straight into our review, looking at the month of February. We'll look at collisions. Yes, as you can see, we have a breakdown. All Saints, Liberty, Dockyard, Parham, Willikes, Freetown, Grace Farm, Longfords, Coolidge, Barbuda, Bolans, Johnson's Point. And then we go into the total for outstations, the traffic department, and fatalities. Yeah, so for the month of February in 2020, we had All Saints with 17, and 2021 February, it went down by 8. So it had a standing of 9. Liberta was 1 in 2020. In 2021, it went up to 3. So it increased by 2. Dockyard had 6 in 2020. 2021, it had 5, it went down by 1. Param remained steady, constant, 10 in February 2020, 10 in February 2022. Williki is doing the same thing, staying on 1. Freetown, 4 in 2020, and in 2021, it was reduced by 1 with 3. Grace Farm, February 2020, 45 collisions. That's a lot. In February 2021, went down to 35. It was reduced by 10. Longford's in February 2020 was 6. February 2021 was 4, went down by 2. Coolidge, 9 in 2020. 2021 went down by 3, so it stands on 6. Barbuda stays steady on 0. So that means Barbuda had no collisions in February of 2020, neither in February of 2021. Boland's, 9 in 2020, 4 in 2021, went down by 5. Johnson's Point with 3 in 2020 and 1 in 2021. It went down by 2. And then we have a total for the outstations, a total of 111 in 2020. And in 2021, for the same month, you see it went down significantly to 81. That's a drop of 30. The traffic department, which operates from police headquarters, in February of 2020, they had a total reported collisions of 124. For that same period in 2021, the traffic department had a total number of reported collisions of 74. And that is a huge decline. And that's a difference of 50. So the traffic department in itself had a reduction of 50 collisions from February 2020 compared to February 2021. And then you'll see the total. February 2020, 235 compared to 155 in February of 2021. That's a difference of 80. So some good news where collisions are concerned. In the state of Antigua and Barbuda, we see a significant reduction in collisions on our roads for the month of February. And that month we had no fatalities. So as you can see, the figures are right there. We're going to continue straight ahead. We will look at the locations. Of course, February 2020 parking lot collisions is leading. Yeah, a lot of collisions takes place in parking lots. It's crazy. And we need to be a little more careful where those things happen. But in February of 2020, we had 20 collisions reported in parking lots, occurred in parking lots, compared to February 2021 with 9. In February of 2020, on main roads or major roads, we had 45 collisions in February 2020, and it remained steady on 45 on February 2021. Now, if you notice, the parking lots, they actually decreased by 11 from 2020 to 2021. For secondary roads, we had 26 in 2020. And for the same period in 2021, we had 10. That's a decline or decrease of 16. Two major intersections in 2020, February, we had 0. And in 2021, we had 4. So it went up by 4. Major and secondary intersection, we had 8 in 2020 and 5 in 2021, which is a reduction of 3. And secondary and byroads, we had 21 in 2020 and only 1 in February 2021, which had us with a reduction of 20. So again, we see significant reduction in collisions taking place at different areas. That's good for the state of Antigua and Barbuda where collisions are concerned, and we should continue to drive carefully, especially in the parking lots. We cannot afford to be having so many collisions in parking lots. It's ridiculous. So we will move right along. Unfortunately, for February 2020, I don't have the statistics for the injuries involved in February of 2020. Yeah, sorry about that. But for February 2021, we have male injuries 11 and female 8. So total of injuries for the month of February 2021 is 19. So yeah, we really don't have the information for, well, I don't have the information for February 2020. So hopefully we can fix that next time. Tickets. Tickets are very interesting subjects. A lot of persons are interested in tickets. They ask for them all the time. People always wonder, does ticket really, do you really do people learn from getting tickets? What can I say? Maybe they do, maybe they don't. But we can see in number of tickets issued for February 2020 in 1,306. And we did have a reduction in February of 2021, which is 904. That's a difference of 402. What we see though is the tickets for that same period that are related to persons using their mobile devices or their cell phones. And yeah, the cell phone ticket is $500, but you still see people going around like it's okay. So for that same period, February 2020, we had 50 tickets issued for mobile devices. And in February of 2021, we see an increase of 36 tickets. So February 2020, we had 50 cell phone tickets, and February 2021, we had 86. We see an increase here of what we call cell phone tickets, or tickets that are issued to persons making use of their mobile device while in operation of a motor vehicle on the public road. And yes, that's under Vehicle Regulation 4 of the Vehicle Road and Traffic Regulation. So let's look at the February 2020 estimated revenue of $213,400. That's estimated revenue. For that same period of 2021, it went down to 165,700. That's a difference of 47,700. Yes, it went down for that period. So where traffic tickets are concerned, that's the figures for February 2020 and 2021. So we're going right ahead into something that person we got a few messages requests asking for that information, and we went out and get that information for you so you can know the revenue collected, actual revenue collected, so we can give it a look. So this table shows revenue collected both at the traffic office and the magistrate court, or what would I say, the various areas that collect revenue. We have, and those are permits where you have the heavy equipment, the moving of heavy equipment on the public roads. February 2020, we had $800. February 2021, we only had $200. That's a reduction of 75%, which is $600. Yes, February 2021, you would see a reduction, as you have seen in previous things on the other slides. So we have insurance report, 7,000. That's in February 2020. And for the same period in 2021, we have 6,200. That's a decline of $800 or 11%. Permit to sell from motor vehicles. Yes, for those persons who may not be aware, there is a permit that you must obtain to sell from your vehicle. And that's what it is, permit to sell from your vehicle, from motor vehicles. In February 2020, there was none. And in 2021, for the same period, were $410. That's an increase of 410. That's 110%. House moving permit. Yeah, so every time you see the house and then moving on the road, yeah. It is required that they obtain a permit from the police to move the vehicles on the public road. And in February of 2020, the revenue collected via that means was $2,400. And for February of 2021, it was $1,200, and it went down by 50%, which is $1,200. Lost registration plate, that's an ongoing thing, and we encourage persons to always inspect your vehicle before you move, to ensure that especially your registration plate is properly fastened to your bumper. You don't want you dropping it and somebody using it to do something illegal and then having you in the sequence of investigation. The lost registration plate in February 2020, $4,600 or $4,600, and in February of the same period of 2021, we had $2,900. We see a reduction in $1,700 or $1,700. That is 37% reduction. And decals on vehicles, yeah, you see the signs that they have on the vehicle, the big thing like the banners that they have on the glass, yeah, that kind of stuff. February 2020, none. And in February 2021, it increased by $100. So we had an increase of 100%. So the total revenue collected by the office for February 2020 was $14,800. And for the same period in 2021, we had $11,010. That's a decrease of that's a decrease of $3,790, or 26% decrease. So we did see a reduction in revenues collected at the office. Now we're looking at now at the magistrate court, where February 2020 we had $36,000 collected, and in February of 2021 we had $15,500. And as we all are aware, that the court was going through its own little difficulties, as you know. So we see a decrease of $20,500. That's a reduction in 57%. Ticket warrants. Before I go into that with the ticket warrants, when a ticket is issued, you have the 10 working days to pay that ticket at the magistrate court, and currently it's made it's a little easier, but you have 10 working days to pay your ticket at the magistrate court when you're issued a ticket. And after the 10 working days, you have an additional 21 days to appear at the magistrate court to contest your ticket if you believe you are wrongfully charged. Now, when you don't pay the ticket and you don't come to the magistrate court to contest your ticket, the ticket goes into a warrant, right? And that warrant, when that warrant is issued by the magistrate, it is actually for you to be taken to Her Majesty's prison for 14 days. Yeah, so that's what the warrant's about. So yes, the ticket goes into a warrant, and it is a warrant for your arrest to go to Her Majesty's prison and spend 14 days. Yes, of course. But in light of all the being very considerate, instead, if you do have the money on hand, you can pay the ticket and avoid yourself going to Her Majesty's prison. So that's what it is about. So in February of 2020, the number of ticket warrants executed was equivalent to $8,100. And in February of 2021, it increased to $12,875. That's an increase of $4,775, or 58%. So the Warrants Department did some work over that period of February, and we see an increase of almost $5,000, $4,775 increase from February 2020. So we come down to the total for February 2020, $50,900. February 2021, $39,385, which show a reduction of $19,515, which is a reduction of 33%. Yes, and for those persons who are inquiring, those are collected revenue for February 2020 comparing to February 2021. That's the revenue collected. So we could just do a quick recap. As you can see, this is February month in review traffic statistics for Antigua and Barbuda, comparative 2020 to 2021. We just want you to know that this program is a collaborative effort with the Royal Police Force of Antigua and Barbuda, supported by state insurance, live in a better state of mind, and signs and impression, the quick print people. Check them first for anything you have to print. So let's do a quick review on our comparative. Collisions, total collisions for that period, for the period of February 2020 to and February 2021, 235 in 2020, 155 in 2021. So a reduction of 80. We had no fatalities for that month in both years. We see an increase, a decrease in parking lot collisions from February 2020 to February 2021. We also see a decrease in secondary road collisions from 26, a decrease of 16. We had small decreases from major and secondary road intersection. And secondary and by road, we see a huge decrease of 20. So that is some good sign. We still need to drive carefully on our roads. Well, we didn't have the information for February 2020, which is the male and female injuries. But for February 2021, we have 11 male and 8 females, which brings us to a total of 19 persons were injured for the month of February in 2021. Traffic tickets, estimated revenue in 2020. Well, the issued tickets 2020 to 2021 went down by 402. The cell phone tickets increased by 36, and we had an estimated revenue decrease by 47,700 from February 2020 to February 2021. The overall collected revenue for the traffic department, covering the magistrate court and ticket warrants. See, heavy equipment went down 75%, insurance report went down 11%, permit to sell vehicles went up by 410%, house moving permits down 50%, lost registration plate down 37%, decals on vehicles up 100%, which put the total collected by the office down 26%, magistrate court down 57%, ticket warrants up 58%. That is more than 50% increase for ticket warrants. So, and that gives us a total of revenue collected down by 33%. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is our statistics February comparative for February 2020 and 2021. And as I said earlier, that is a collaborative effort between the Royal Police Force of Antigua and Barbuda, and it is brought to you by the kind compliments of State Insurance Company Limited, located on Upper Redcliffe Street, putting you to live in a better state of mind, and also Signs and Impression, the quick print people. Call them for all your printing needs. So until next time, we will see you again.